Welcome back to Tousi TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tousi, and this is the continued live coverage coming from today's major announcement, which is, of course, the Israel-Gaza deal that has been signed. Celebrations on the streets of Tel Aviv and also Gaza City continue as we speak. The Israeli cabinet meeting, they've just concluded the initial part of it. Now they're going to be ratifying the deal. But we have some live coverage as well. We'll go back to Tel Aviv and Gaza to see what's going on there if you watched our previous live coverage. But we're going to talk about President Trump. He also just held his cabinet meeting and made a major announcement, absolutely historic announcement for the first time ever. In regards to what we are discussing in the Middle East, President Trump will be traveling to the Middle East to sign, to essentially be part of the next phase and the agreement between Israel and Hamas. Now, first things first, once the announcement was made on the actual peace deal, the hostages' families in Israel were, of course, happy, very, very grateful and thankful to President Trump. They actually had an opportunity to have a short conversation. Let's go to that moment when President Trump talked to them, and then we're going to go to the cabinet in Washington to see what was discussed.
They want to say something. Is that right? All right, hold on. President Trump, you have the best crowd in the world. What do you guys have to say to President Trump?
Thank you. Thank you. You did it!
You did it! Thank you! Thank you!
This is amazing. Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president, and even before that. And we trust you fulfill the mission until every hostage, every 48 of the hostages are home. Thank you so much. Blessed be the peacemakers.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
Thank you very much. You just take care of yourselves. The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now we do have some breaking news. Gaza's Hamas chief, essentially, well, the main person left in Hamas, has now officially announced the end to the war tonight and the start of permanent ceasefire. This is obviously from Hamas's side. Of course, the Israelis will be ratifying the deal, and they will also follow suit. Let's go to the cabinet meeting in the United States. President Trump, of course, made the announcement, but he also made a huge surprise, major announcement in terms of what he will be doing shortly, of course, as part of his trip to the Middle East. Let's quickly go and see what happened here.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. As you know, last night we reached a momentous breakthrough in the Middle East, something that people said was never going to be done. We ended the war in Gaza and really, on a much bigger basis, created peace. And I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace. Peace in the Middle East. We secured the release of all of the remaining hostages, and they should be released on Monday or Tuesday. Getting them is a complicated process. I'd rather not tell you what they have to do to get them. There are places you don't want to be, but we are getting the hostages back on Tuesday, Monday,
Tuesday.
And that'll be a day of joy. I'm going to try and make a trip over. We're going to try and get over there. And we're working on the timing, the exact timing. We're going to go to Egypt, where we'll have a signing, an additional signing. We've already had a signing representing me, but we're going to have an official signing. And the amazing thing is all of the countries over there, from Qatar to Saudi Arabia to UAE to all of them, I mean, the rich ones, the less than rich ones, they've all come together, something which is amazing, actually. They've all come together for this, and they're really probably the best relationships they've ever had. So it's been really something incredible that nobody thought it was possible to get it done. and very importantly, the hostages are coming back. As you know, they consider them hostages. They talk about them as hostages, but there are approximately 28 dead people, mostly young, mostly men, but and boys. I mean, boys. The one woman talked about her baby. Her baby's 25 years old, but you know, to her it's her baby, and we're bringing them home. We're getting everything, and to those parents, the dead young man is just as important, as though this person were alive. It's amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it. I've been very much involved. I've never seen anything quite like it. But it's really peace in the Middle East. And you remember October 7th was terrible, but also from the Hamas standpoint, they probably lost 70,000 people. That's big retribution. That's big retribution.
Retribution.
But at some point, that whole thing has to stop, and we're going to see to it. Gaza is going to be slowly redone. You have tremendous wealth in that part of the world by certain countries, and just a small part of that, what they make will do wonders for Gaza. And I think you're going to see some tremendous countries stepping up and putting up a lot of money and taking care of things. But there's tremendous spirit like I haven't seen. And even the news, I won't call it fake news for this purpose, because they really were very fair today.
For once.
In all cases. But they covered it very well. They covered it very fairly. Everybody
Even CNN.
Everybody. People that were never giving us a fair shake, frankly, they can't even believe it. They're so they're amazed by it. A lot of people are. But it was just everything came together. I think the attack was very important on Iran, because let's say that didn't happen, they'd probably by now have a nuclear weapon.
Hamas have now surrendered
weapons.
officially.
And therefore, even if we signed a deal, there'd be a big, dark
They've just
cloud
made the
over
announcement.
it, and it wouldn't be the same thing. So Iran's different, but
over.
Iran wants to work on peace now. They've informed us, and they've acknowledged that they're totally in favor of this deal. They think it's a great thing. So we appreciate that, and we'll work with Iran. As you know, we have major sanctions on Iran and lots of other things. We would like to see them be able to rebuild their country too, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. So I want to express my tremendous gratitude to the leaders of Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey for helping us reach this incredible day and for being there. They were there with us all the way. And of course, as you know, Saudi Arabia and Jordan and so many. I will tell you, President Erdogan was personally involved in dealing with Hamas and some of the others. He's been.
They forced them.
They've all been really amazing. Indonesia's been amazing. Indonesia's been fantastic. The whole world has come together for this. People that didn't get along, people that didn't like each other, neighboring countries that frankly didn't like each other, but now it's just this moment in time. So we look forward to welcoming the hostages, like you can't believe, home to their families, and that'll take place early next week. We hope Monday or Tuesday. And all Americans should be proud of the role that our country has played in bringing this terrible conflict to an end. And I want to thank, some of the people, JD, you were fantastic, and Pete, you were great. Marco was fantastic. Some of you were very much involved. I'm looking around. So indirectly, I think almost everybody in this room was involved. Susie, I want to thank you very much. You were incredible. You've done an incredible job. So, and yes, John, what you've done was invaluable. CIA, John Ratcliffe, and he's done an incredible job.
CIA definitely
helped. So I want to
helped.
thank you all, and if I'm missing anybody, I apologize, but you've been amazing. And then you have Steve Witkoff, who worked so hard.
He's in the Middle East now.
You remember we settled 7, this is number 8, we settled 7 wars or major conflicts.
He loves saying that.
And this is number 8.
Anyway.
And the one that I thought would be maybe the quickest of all would be Russia-Ukraine, and I think that's going to happen too. But in the meantime, they're losing about 7,000 people a week, and that seems pretty bad. They're losing mostly soldiers, young soldiers. They go out to war.
We'll go back to the White House in a second.
Well, does
Just a quick major announcement. Breaking news: Hamas have now officially surrendered, and the leader, the Hamas chief, has now obviously made the announcement on Al Jazeera, I believe live, well, video announcement. I'm trying to see if we have the actual. Okay, yes. So I think we have the translation. So as of now, Hamas now declared the end to war, and of course they've already started the permanent ceasefire. The Israeli Defense Forces have continued to attack. Hamas have now obviously stopped. They've given up. The Israelis continue until the deal is ratified by the government. Let's quickly, I'm just going to bring it up to you guys. We are stealing this from Al Jazeera, I believe, but I don't care. I don't care. It's important to talk about the leadership. This is, of course, where are we going? There we go. This is Khalil al-Haya, who is currently hiding in, I think is now in Egypt, but he was hiding in Qatar. Let's go to Khalil as he mentions the end and the beginning of permanent ceasefire from Hamas's side.
Happy to announce that we have reached a deal for ceasefire to put an end to the aggression and also to proceed to a permanent ceasefire and the withdrawal of the army and to allow the aid to enter to Gaza and to open the Rafah crossing from both sides.
Right, so this is it for the Hamas side. Of course, the United States and the other mediators will now be monitoring this. Obviously, they're going to go in to ensure that Hamas are disarmed and obviously not be able to regroup. It's the responsibility of the United States, Egypt, and Qatar, and Turkey, and Jordan, Saudi. This is no longer the responsibility of Gazans. Until now, you've had ceasefire after ceasefire. It's the responsibility of Gaza and Hamas not to do this, to start attacking again. But it doesn't matter if you trust Gazans or Hamas. It's not their responsibility. Even if they try to come back, the Americans are supposed to be there and the others to stop it. Let's quickly go back to the White House, and we will show you, of course, the major announcement that President Trump is making.
Now we go to Marco. You can talk a little bit about what's going on, and
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, Mr. President. I don't know if one day perhaps the entire story will be told about the events of yesterday, but suffice it to say, it's not an exaggeration that none of it would have been possible without the President of the United States being involved. It really began with your trip to the Middle East, where these relationships were forged with partners in the region, personal relationships, close relationships that created the foundation where all this was possible. Where I think this really took a turn. Remember, a month ago, no one thought this was possible. Where it really took a turn about a month ago, less than a couple weeks ago, is when we were at the United Nations and you convened a historic meeting, not simply of Arab countries, but of Muslim majority countries from around the world, including Indonesia was there, Pakistan was there, and created this coalition behind this plan. Then on that following Monday, you met with the Prime Minister of Israel here, and that plan was presented. And then, of course, our great negotiating team followed up on it. In the interim, again, perhaps the stories will be told, perhaps they will never be told. The President had some extraordinary phone calls and meetings that required a high degree of intensity and commitment, and made this happen. And I think what's important to understand is that yesterday what happened was really a human story. There's a geopolitical aspect to it, there's no doubt about it. It creates the conditions for Gaza to one day be a normal place again and people to have a better life and Israelis to be safe. But yesterday was a human story. And because of the work you put in, and honestly, not only is there no other leader in the world that could have put this together, Mr. President, but frankly, I don't know of any American president in the modern era that could have made this possible. Because of the actions you have taken unrelated to this and because of who you are and what you've done and how you're viewed. And this weekend, because of that, at some point very soon, we are going to see 20 living human beings emerge from the darkness into the light for the first time in 2 years. And that is because not only were you used the credibility and the power and the prestige of this office and the relationships you created and you committed yourself to making it happen. And I think it will go down as a historic moment in the history of our country, and something our country should be very proud of, that we have a president that's committed to not just peace, but to the human aspect of reuniting these families. My last point on this is just a couple days ago, Secretary Lutnick hosted us all, many of us, at the Kennedy Center. And we have these families, we've interacted with them for so many years, for 2 years now. And the stories are heartbreaking, both whose families are alive and those who are deceased as well, who want their relatives back so that they can complete the process of grieving. And it was, we had all hoped that perhaps that was the day that we would have an announcement for them on the anniversary of the 7th. But I know you were able to speak to some of those families last night. And I just hope the whole nation understands how incredibly proud they should be of their president and of their country for the role that they've played. And I don't want to let this moment pass, Mr. President, without also noting the incredible work of Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. They're an incredible
definitely.
team working together, facing some substantial impediments to even being there this weekend and doing it. Let me just leave it at that. And they've done a great job on your behalf, Mr. President. They deserve a tremendous amount of credit. But thank you for what you've done for the world. For the world.
Thank you very much, Rose. I appreciate it. I think because we have a very busy day with all that's going on, what
It's
we'll
going to
do
be
is
there.
maybe just a few of you raise your hand if you'd like to say something that...
Just a quick thing in terms of the major historic announcement. Obviously, the White House are been taking questions from the press. But the most important thing to say, this is the first time in history that this will happen, that President Trump will be speaking at the Knesset.
Well, they asked me to speak at the Knesset, and I've agreed to. If they would like me to, I will do it. It's the first time a president has ever done that, so that makes it very interesting, right?
Of course, this is it's going to make things slightly more complicated as well when it comes to the internal politics of not just Israel but the rest of the Middle East. But in terms of the questions about the two-state solution, when the media asked President Trump about the two-state solution earlier, he basically said, I've got nothing to say about that. Let's see how they work it out. Obviously, European countries have been pushing for a two-state solution. President Trump refuses to do that. If something gets worked out in the future, then it happens, obviously. Let's quickly go back to the White House with the media asking questions.
Making it as good as possible.
And what's your take now on a two-state solution, sir? Just to follow up on that. What is your view now on a two-state solution?
It's up to them.
I don't have a view. I'm going to go with what they agree to.
Mr. President, given that there are some tough provisions for Israel in this agreement, are you at all concerned that Bibi Netanyahu may not continue in his post? He may be deposed.
That Bibi may go a little bit out of whack.
That he may no longer be prime minister when this is over.
Right.
Look, that's politics. It could be. I don't know. I think he's very popular right now. He's much more popular today than he was 5 days ago. I can tell you. Right now, maybe people shouldn't run against him. 5 days ago, it might not have been a bad idea. Bibi's become. This has been a very good thing. I don't think he did it for that reason. Okay, but I think just looking as an analyst would look at this, I think Bibi should be very popular right now. Yeah, please.
What will happen if Hamas says that it cannot locate or was not able to find all of the deceased hostages' bodies within the time
Well,
frame?
we'll have to see. I think that's going to be, it's largely been answered. We know where
Okay.
Most of them are.
Stay right here.
Actually,
I'll be back.
The bodies are a bigger problem.
Hang on. What do I do with this?
Some of the bodies are going to be a little
need
bit
to,
hard to find. It's a terrible thing to discuss even, but you understand, we're all people, we're grown-ups, we understand life. Nobody can understand this stuff because this could have taken place, but we have the hostages for the most part, and so I don't think it's going to be overly big. The situation with the bodies, they say 28. Some are going to be a little bit hard to find, but we're going to do the best we can. Yeah, please.
If they don't find them within the time frame.
Please.
Thank you, sir. Regarding Jared Kushner's role in the negotiations, can you explain a little bit about why he came on at the last minute? And then in regards to the WIC program that the Vice President mentioned, do you know when the funding that you promised through the tariff revenue will actually go through to communities? Because there's reports that WIC providers are actually starting to close down today.
Well, okay, let me just answer to Jared. So Jared's a very smart guy. He did the Abraham Accords. Some people say the Abraham, which I love the way that sounds. He did the Abraham Accords. It was a great thing. 4 big countries joined. If I were president, if the election would have been a correct election, which it wasn't, you'd have every country in there. Maybe even Iran would have been in there, frankly. But you'd have every country in. Now, by the way, that's going to be filled up rather quickly. People want to join the Abraham Accords. And I put Jared there because he's a very smart person. And he knows the region, knows the people, knows a lot of the players. And the combination of him and Steve Witkoff and Marco and Cooper, who is, as I hear, has been fantastic, and others that were involved. JD was very much involved. I mean, we had a very smart group of people working. We had a lot of different players, different countries, and very diverse countries, very different from each other. They had certain things in common, but they had a lot of things, mostly things that were not at all common to their country.
We'll get your reaction in the live chat shortly.
We had a very smart group of people. These are high IQ people. Okay, I talk about how many low IQ people we have in our government. We got some real low ones.
In our government now? That's your government.
These are very high IQ people, and that's what we want. I like high IQ people. Yeah.
He meant previous governments.
Can I ask you about the China? You're meeting with President Xi.
Right.
The Chinese have now set to put in
anyway,
export controls.
And now they're talking about the China. Then we're going to go live to Tel Aviv, ladies and gentlemen, as we're still, I think we're still having the celebrations at the Hostages Square, but low IQ, so good. He's the funniest president ever. Let's quickly, and then we're going to get your reaction live as well. Where are we with this? Okay, so can we go live to? Yeah, we can. All right, let's do it. All right, so this is the situation right now. I think we have sound. There we go. We have sound now. We love Trump. The sign is still there. I'm gonna get some reaction in the live chat. As we said a few minutes ago, the head of Hamas officially announced the surrender and the beginning of the permanent ceasefire from Hamas's side. Israel, of course, haven't started yet. Hamas have now given up, but the Israelis have to ratify the deal. The IDF has still been hammering Hamas in Gaza over the last few hours anyway, but Hamas still had no other choice but to still surrender regardless. They will be disarmed, and they won't have any role in the governance of Gaza. It's not really about us trusting them or not. It's no longer the responsibility of Hamas or Gaza to keep to their promise, because they're not in charge. The Americans, the Egyptians, and the Qataris, Saudi, Turkey, everybody, and of course the Europeans will be there. It's mostly on President Trump, because he's going to be the chairman of the committee. If he goes wrong, it's on Trump. It's no longer on people in Gaza. You can't really blame people in Gaza. It will be on Trump. So it's a very different situation. It's not really about you trusting or not trusting Hamas, which is a very stupid debate that people have. Should I trust Hamas? I don't trust Hamas. Of course you shouldn't trust them. Is the sky blue? All right, let's go. There's some reaction here. I heard you want your country back, call the IDF. Now, actually, before we continue with this, I'm just going to show you. I think we also have the live feed from the Prime Minister's office. Is that? Yeah, we're going to go to outside the Prime Minister's office where the meeting is being held as we speak. Oop. Yeah. All right, so let's get some quick reaction. Of course, the cabinet meeting is taking place, and we're trying to see also what's going on with the border of Gaza as well. As I said, the Israelis have been hammering Hamas for the past few hours. There we go. So we have the border feed as well. While we're here, I'm just going to get some more reaction from the live chat. So we just say Trump is cleaning USA up and this, but haters hate. A hater's gonna hate. Ignore them. There is no such place called Palestine only. What? Palestine? Palestine only? Oh, I think that punctuation matters. There is no place called Palestine. Dot. Only Israel. That makes more sense. Margaret says, "Dear Maya, greetings from Malta. I think Trump is a bit too..." That was a loud one. Did you hear? What is that? Euphoric and naive. President Trump is not naive. President Trump is naive. All right. Anyway, what about releasing the Hamas terrorists by Israel? This is a part of... Oh my God, I'm not getting into this. This is grown-up stuff. It's not playground. That's not how it works. I've explained this so many times. Also, the White House explained this. If you think the CIA are stupid and people sitting on their keyboards are smarter than CIA and Mossad and everybody else, I'm not getting into this debate anymore. The real reason for the deal are the IDF soldiers. Don't know what that is. It's going to be one of those nights, guys. One of those nights. All right. Being naive implies that you're trusting someone else. Nobody's trusting anybody else at this point. I've explained how the formula is working compared to any other previous situation. Previously, you had to depend on people in Gaza. Can you please stop killing us? Can you stop basically regrouping? That was the point. And obviously, if you depend on people in Gaza, they're going to break the promise. It's no longer the responsibility of the people of Gaza because they're going to be foreigners on the ground. The international community with President Trump. If it fails, it's on Trump. It's not rocket science. Anyway, we got some trolls with their Palestinian flags and the Islamic Republic flags, of course, as usual. What is this? Okay, things are happening now in Pakistan. I had a feeling something was going to happen. The Pakistanis are now going to be making a major emergency announcement. We were hearing some rumors about the conflict between Pakistan and India. There have now been 2 explosions in Kabul. Oh, actually, wait, no. This is actually next door. What is going on in Afghanistan? Afghanistan is also 2 explosions in Kabul, in Afghanistan. And, of course, the situation in Pakistan is also escalating. What is going on in Afghanistan? Okay, there's going to be a major press conference by the Pakistani military. We don't know if the explosions in Afghanistan are related. I don't think it's related unless something weird is happening. But we will keep an eye on the situation in Kabul as well as the Pakistani military. But we are expecting the India-Pakistan tensions to escalate. I'm afraid so. They will be back at it shortly. Someone said, what about the tunnels? They're all going to go. This is the responsibility. Okay, there's just a quick summary. There's going to be a new committee now. Obviously, whether it's going to work or not, that's not on me. There's going to be a new committee. It's not on people in Gaza, right? It's going to be a new committee. They're going to go in there, multiple countries. They're going to clean it up, get rid of the tunnels and everything else, and then start rebuilding, whatever they want to do. I don't really care. So tunnels are going to go until they rebuild them at some point in the future. So for now, it's going to go. All right. What do we have here? Give Trump credit. He's a very persistent leader. He also basically just forces you to just accept what he is going to give you anyway. So I don't know why people bother debating, including the state of Qatar and the Egyptians and Hamas. That's why at the end of the day, they had no other option. We're going to have to go. President Trump has already announced it. So let's just go with this deal while we at it. Now, don't forget, we have until tomorrow. So tomorrow is the final day. It's the end of the world. Our limited offer for Tousi TV Plus annual memberships is going to end tomorrow on Friday. 50% off annual memberships if you use the promo code X50 by going directly on Tousi.tv or just find the direct link in the description. And don't forget to, most importantly, download the Tousi TV app from your app stores, the home of geopolitical news, to stay up to date with all our news alerts, documentaries, chat forum. We're going to continue this live coverage. We're going to go to the Tousi TV Plus chat forum with the members of the channel. So if you're not a member, this is your last chance, final chance ever to join us. In the next few minutes, I will be on the chat forum. In case you're not familiar, on our private Discord server on the left-hand side, it's called Post Live Chat. or if you're using a mobile device, it looks like this. Post live chat. Go on there in the next few minutes, and I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.